it would have already happened. That's the thing. If you go into your past, that would have already been done at the moment you went into your past. You'd only be aware of doing it now. So
I
it
see.
wouldn't change anything. It would already been changed. So
I
you
see.
wouldn't know. This is the thing. It's relative to where you are now. If something happened to you 20 years ago that you went back to change, it would have been changed already from your now perspective. You
Wow.
wouldn't really even know. But it is possible. I mean, a friend of mine, um, the friend of mine basically remembered when he started to learn how to go into the eternal realm and outside of time and space. He remembered the first time he was ever called to preach, and he was so nervous that he called out on God for help. Well, he then went back and helped himself and strengthened and encouraged himself in the Lord.
Wow.
And he was aware that he felt encouraged at that moment. He wasn't aware until then that he was the one who'd encouraged himself.
Wow.
So it's when you become aware of what you did is the issue. Now, sometimes, obviously, you can go back and affect things, but it's not that you change the past. You've always done it in the past. You're just aware of now that you've done it. So it's already happened in the past. You didn't go back and then you change history. You were always used in history.
Wow.
Which is a different concept. It doesn't mean that you didn't do anything,
Right.
but that's always been the case from the moment you did it. You're only aware that you've gone and done it now because you stepped. It's like, here's a timeline, and you're here in 2022, and you go into the eternal now, and you come out in 1970, okay? You're only aware that you went back into 1970 in 2022. But from the perspective of 1970, you've always done that.
Wow.
Because you went into that realm where there is no time, and you came out in 1970, did what you did. You're only aware of it now, but it's always happened. So I've gone back in time and healed some people, raised someone from the dead, did other things in history. I didn't change what happened. That's always happened. It's recorded in history that it happened, but I was there to facilitate it happening, and other people have done that as well.
Wow.
But I was only aware of it when I stepped into that in my time.
Wow. Thank you.
Absolutely, you can. And essentially, God wants us to redeem the past, to see things which, but it's like it's a sort of, well, did I change the past? Well, I was used to, so did I redeem the past? Well, in a way, but you wouldn't know it. And if history had changed, you would not be aware of its change because it would have always been your history. That's the thing with time. It's relative to the observer.
Wow.
You know? So it's not like, oh, this happened to you. I went back and changed it, and you had a memory of what happened, and then you had a memory changed. It would have never happened if you hadn't gone and done it. So it's an interesting concept. I don't personally believe that the future exists as a fixed concept, because I think God's desire for the future exists, and he's waiting for us to outwork the future. And if we don't outwork the future in alignment with his desire, then we just get to continue to outwork that in the future again. So I don't think the fixed future, otherwise it would be fate. If it already happened, then it was already happened. I can't change it if it's already happened, or my part in it is fixed. Well, actually, no, I've got a choice. So God is always rewriting his future to bring us into the picture to manifest that future. And will continually bring out a good out of the mess that we've done, which didn't actually manifest how he wanted, but he'll still bring good out of it, because his desire is for good. I was doing those things before I really understood it all, and before I engaged time. But time helped me to disconnect to the wrong thinking about time that limited my thoughts about it, and particularly in terms of time working with me, for me, not against me, and the concept that time is my friend and not my enemy. and therefore time in terms of immortality linked to, well, time doesn't have to affect that, because I can be untethered from the negative aspects of how people see the passage of time and the inevitability of that leading to death. So I certainly learned a lot about immortality from time as a being, in terms of making sure that my mindset towards time was not how it was, you know, and had been changed and transformed, so that I would be seeing time as my friend, therefore being able to expand and contract time in a more effective way. Because I certainly learned how to do it before I ever met time as a being. But once I'd met time, a lot of it made more sense. And I was able to be more effective, I think, in doing